Okay, move this out the way. Right here. I'm live. I'm just kind of doing this impromptu. It just touched my heart to say some stuff right now that I've been thinking about as I get ready to launch this channel. Um, so the name of this channel is The Logical Conclusion is Love. Um, it's a bit of a play on what my brother had. My brother had a channel called The Logical Conclusion, and it was actually a pretty good channel he had, and he was just getting started with it. And it was basically telling people to think for themselves. Don't just go with what people tell you, and think for yourself, do the research, figure out what it is, and make the decision for yourself, which is a pretty straightforward idea that most people should be able to accomplish. Um, I did change the name a little bit. Instead of going with and just continuing the logical conclusion, I made it the logical conclusion is love. Because even though, I talked to my brother about this in the past when he was still alive, um, logic is cold. It can be very cold. So you have to temper it. If you're a human being, you have to temper it with love, because once you lose love or lose sight of love, you kind of lose your humanity. Then you become more like the robot, the kind of it's kind of what, like when I say the reason we don't have robots as leaders is because you can't have a robot and you put in these codes and these algorithms and then they come out and spit out what we got to do. Robots don't know how to take consideration, look at each individual situation differently, how to weigh human emotion and feeling, and add that into the mix. So our leaders are going to be people. They have to be people. They have to be able to make good decisions, even when there is no good decision, and they have to be able to do it with a sound conscience in mind. So that's a whole different, you know, ball game. Robots can't do that. That's not an algorithm that you can write to do that. So that was important. So I feel like the love portion of the name is key. Um, Also, another thing I want to talk about is the media. Now, I like media. I want to. My company, Rodney Cameron Media and Technology, is based on in media. But I think it's important, especially in these times where we're in right now in this country, where we're so schismed. Right, you have the far right, you have the far left. You got people that are with this group, people with this group, and then everybody's fighting and arguing and pointing fingers at who's messing things up and who's doing wrong. But I think the most important thing to remember is that the media can lead you astray and start making us feel like we're more different than that we're more the same. Because I think it's important to understand how the media operates. Okay, so let's just say, I mean, this is my take on it. So take it with a grain of salt. If you agree with me, then like, subscribe, and follow along. If not, then thank you for taking the time to even watch this video. But picture, let me see, I got a 360 camera here, right? So the average person, if you've got good eyesight, or if you got walking around, you have a 360 view for the most part. You got your eyes can see this way. You can look left, look right. You can even turn around and see everything around you, up, down. You know what's going on in your situation. When you're watching TV, when you're watching YouTube, you're watching something that somebody's used the camera and they've gone and they can't see it 360. They're not showing you 360 up, down, left, right, everything that's there. They're focusing on something very small, a portion of this 360 view, right? Even if it's widescreen, they're only going to show you a portion of what's really going on, right? And they're very carefully pointing this camera at what they want you to see. They're not pointing at the other stuff. For instance, in this room, you see me. Now you see the 360 camera, which I'm about to put back up. And you see the door. You see my guitars behind me. You might see my keyboard. But you don't see the junk I got over here. Look at this. Look at this. You don't see the full room. You don't see all the stuff that's going on, right? So we have to keep in mind when we're watching the media, when we're watching CNN or Fox or whatever it is, it's always just a portion of the story. They're never telling you everything that's going on. Even if you listen to NPR or something on the radio, believe me, when you work in media, you understand how important audio is. And you understand how skilled people will sit there and craft layer after layer after layer of sound to deliver to you this experience, right? So it's never going to be a situation where you get everything that's going on. They're only going to tell you certain things. They're only going to show you certain things to make you feel a certain way so that you keep your eyes on the screen, so that you pay your money, so that you do whatever it is they want you to do. So be have your emotions, have your feelings, make your decisions, get your information, make your decisions, but be slow to get fired up and emotional based on what you see on the news, what you see here on the radio. Be slow. I'm not saying don't. I'm not saying don't feel anything. You're going to feel something. You're going to take your time, but be slow to get fired up to do dumb stuff. Okay? This country is being led right now. It seems like they're trying to be led by the extremes. We're not being led by the base, by the center, the stable portion of the country. We're being led by extremes. And that's the problem because the extremes will lead you into dumb stuff. So, um, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about on this channel. I just wanted to put that out there because I watch the news, I watch YouTube, and even YouTube. I'm not going to talk bad about YouTube because I do use YouTube and I like YouTube. It's a great tool. But if you agree with something that's obscure, or if you think something that's obscure, you can go to YouTube and find other people that agree with you, and you can watch those videos over and over and over without listening to any opposing the same things over and over and over, which causes your brain to feed on that same information. It's feeding on its own information over and over and over, which is not healthy, right? So take some time to break away, even if you got to break away from YouTube or break away from a thought process or a vision to go to something else, just to make sure you're not going down that horrible spiral, right? So that's just my advice. It's just as I get started with this, I'm looking forward to doing a lot of videos and having some good talks with people about the political situations that we're in, some of the social, economic situations that we're in, and some of the straight social and racial situations that we're in this country, and what's going on in Africa and what's going on in other parts of the world that will affect us, both socially, economically, all that, you know, because we've become pretty much a global economy. We are a global economy. We're a global organization. These humans on this earth. So dealing with this COVID, this is all so much happening right now. But stay safe, stay blessed. If you want to have some entertainment that is somewhat educational or inspiring, um, damn, I've had to start soon thing up the whole time. Didn't mean to do that, but see, I'm learning just like everybody else is. So yeah, please like and subscribe. Please check back with us. I'm gonna try and do things weekly at least, and probably more than that. I'll have other channels that I'll start up as well and get fired up with it because this is something I want to do. All right, be blessed.